Today, CD Projekt Red has a roadmap for fixing Cyberpunk 2077 so we can all rest easy. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. I'm Graham, and I haven't been sleeping well lately.
Oh, I feel that. Still can't beat your record?
It's close. I did work out a new skip where if I bring up the menu, just as I'm putting my toothbrush away, I teleport right to the bed.
Above the mattress?
No, but I'm working on it. The Entertainment Software Association, or ESA, the trade association for the video game industry, has said that it is halting all of its political donations following the siege on the U.S. Capitol, after which some of its donation recipients voted to overturn the election. Now, it might seem odd that the ESA makes political donations at all, or that most of the donations go to Republicans, but that's the ESA's whole job. They exist to keep the government off the gaming industry's back, and like any other lobby group, they do that by giving money to politicians. And Republicans are the politicians most likely to try and regulate the evil video games. For the children, probably. Anyway, a bunch of the Republicans they donated to voted to overturn a fair election, and the ESA has halted all of their political donations, even though 2020 was the first time they donated more to Democrats than Republicans. So it's weird that their stance is, whoa, these Republicans are awful, that siege was terrible, now nobody gets money. But also their donations were at most like $2,500, generally $1,000. I feel like these politicians care about $1,000 as much as the ESA cares about cybersecurity. Heyo! You thought we forgot about the time you doxed all those journalists, but we sure didn't. ESA sucks.
Twitch has started rotating in new emotes for Pogchamp based on other streamers on the platform. No details have been released on the selection process, but Twitch is lauding its, quote, overwhelmingly positive response. They've stated, "We want the sentiment and use of Pog to live on. Its meaning is much bigger than the person depicted or image itself, and it has a big place in Twitch culture." You know what else has a big place in Twitch culture? Harassment and threats! Most of the streamers already rotated in faced trolling and death threats simply for being chosen as the 24-hour face of Pogchamp. That also highlights another big part of Twitch culture, the company's lack of plans or action to support their streamers in the face of harassment. What makes this especially galling is that Twitch chose these people to be the new emote. It wasn't through an application process or being voted in by viewers or peers. Twitch made a unilateral decision to uplift marginalized creators without thinking about the consequences of the spotlight. I gotta ask, Twitch, did you assign any staff to hang out in those channels during their turn as Pogchamp? Did your staff monitor their social media accounts for abuse? Did you actively participate so you could see the fallout as it happened? The rotating Pogchamp was an idea suggested by a Twitch streamer, so if Twitch is taking suggestions from us, I've got one. Make a mod team to watch the new Pogchampers channels and permaban from your service everyone who's being an asshole. Even Walmart security will eventually eject abusive customers. You're better than Walmart, right?
Good news for fans of Star Wars video games. EA's 10-year-long exclusivity deal to be the singular vision behind bringing Star Wars to gaming is wrapping up 3 years early, which makes a lot of sense when they kinda squandered it by canceling that one single-player game and filling another game with so many microtransactions they almost destroyed the entire concept of microtransactions as a business strategy, until finally nailing it with Squadrons. At least I hear Squadrons was good. All I know is Ian had to buy something called a hot ass. Am I saying that right? Anyway, with Disney reviving the Lucasfilm Games brand and already announcing an Indiana Jones title from Wolfenstein developer Machine Games, because they know their way around fighting Nazis, you'll be pleased to hear that the next Star Wars video game will be an open-world romp coming to you from, Ubisoft? Well, sadly, we're already profoundly late on making the joke that you'll have to conquer and climb to the top of an AT-AT to reveal more of the map while you search for your next objective, but damn it, sometimes the joke is easy because it's true. Apart from enabling abusers, that's all Ubisoft knows how to do.
If you're hankering for the good old days of playing cops and robbers on the playground, then boy howdy, have I got a memorkba for you. A Red Dead Online private server called Wild West RP has set up some new meta rules and added some assets to let you experience the consequences of the outlaw life. The mods have added to their server the Sisika Penitentiary from Red Dead Redemption 2, and any players caught breaking the law on the server are being rounded up to serve time. For example, if you steal stuff in the game, other players who are role-playing law enforcement and bounty hunters can track you down and arrest you. You're then put on trial, sentenced, assigned your stripes and a number, and left to cool your heels in prison for 180 months. By months, they mean minutes, because this is all just role-playing and goofing around. Anybody committing more heinous acts can be given a 14-year sentence, where years feel like days, and just play act with other prisoners for 2 weeks, unless your probation hearing comes up, or the mods schedule a jailbreak, or someone breaks into prison to get revenge on you. Come on, it wouldn't be the Wild West if everyone wasn't out for revenge, or an opium fiend.
A quick Cyberpunk update regarding a quick Cyberpunk update. CD Projekt Red is committed to sharing their commitment with a webpage called Our Commitment, featuring a video from co-founder Marcin Nowinski and, you guessed it, a roadmap. You can finally fill in the roadmap bubble on your cards.
Oh, bingo!
The video purports to be a frank look at what was happening internally at CDPR in the lead up to release, but Nowinski doesn't really say anything. At least, he doesn't say anything we didn't already know, especially if you're an informed member of the gaming public like somebody who watches this show. He apologizes and says that the blame is on management, which we knew from their investor call and from all available evidence. He says that they didn't send out console review codes because they were still working on those versions up until the last moment, which we knew because those versions are still broken. He also says that their testing team somehow didn't encounter all the issues that players did, which I'd say is throwing the testing team under the bus, but the bus's pathing isn't finished, so the bus just stops dead in the street while traffic stacks up. Also, Nowinski says the PC version is something they are proud of, and all this focus is on fixing the last-gen console versions. But the PC version isn't done either. It runs, but it's not finished. And judging by the roadmap, it won't be done until 2022. And how will they accomplish this? With developer crunch, we assume? Well, according to a question they voluntarily added to their own FAQ, are you making the team crunch to work on the patches? They say, quote, the team is working to bring relevant fixes to the game without any obligatory overtime, which is not an answer, but I guess nothing else in the game was finished, so why should their answers be any different?
I've been reading up on this bedtime run, and apparently you can fall asleep instantly if you just hit yourself in the head with a frying pan?
Yeah, it's called pan skip. The category I run doesn't use it.
More restful?
Fewer concussions.
Coming up, in a story that's probably only relevant to our fans, the ambitious Jane Austen MMO Ever Jane is shutting down 7 years after its Kickstarter raised $100,000, probably because an MMO about courtship and gossip was a tough sell. Rest in peace, Maggie Chunderfrump.
We played it twice. The second time we did some ridiculous stuff with a horse cart, if I recall correctly.
like path breaking, or like
I think so. Well, I mean, you saw it there. We were just walking through geometry. But the first time we played it, there was like one other person on the server who it turned out was a real person, but they were talking to it. They were talking to us, and we were just like, lol, whatever, because we thought it was
weird
just like
NPC.
Like an NPC. And we kept trying to propose, and then they kicked us. We were like, marry us.
You were a griefer.
I mean, yeah.
Inadvertent griefing.
Yeah, it was mostly because their UI was terrible. The second time we went, it was much more direct and intentional griefing, if I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Enough, well.
But it's not like anybody was playing the game.
No, well, yeah, I guess that's also a problem.
The entertainment... Whoa. That's a spoiler for a joke later in the story.
Pretend you didn't see it.
Yeah. I did work out a new skip where if I bring up the menu just as I'm putting my tush brush.
Uh-huh.
Your tush brush?
Tush brush.
My tush brush.
Tush. I've been sleeping well lately.
Huh? No shit.
All right.